The last time I spoke here, the only thing people remember is that I stole a Bible. If you think that's bad, just wait. As I was writing this, I didn't think it was so much a story about finding Christ, although that happened, but of doing everything in my power not to find him. For more than 50 years, I hoped that everything that was said about Jesus was true without actually believing. And when some sort of belief came, all those things I had thought of as coincidences, I came to believe were God moments. And that for a long, long time, in many different ways, God had been trying to get my attention to help me believe. Over 20 years ago, I walked into a friend's office, and this was sitting on her desk. And I said, I want it. And she gave it to me. It sat high on a shelf in my office, and people would come into my office and say, what the heck is that? And I jokingly tell them, it's the hand of God. When I got to the Rock 2.5 years ago after leaving the Catholic Church, one of the first things that I noticed was that during worship, when people's arms were waving, to me, it looked like a whole sea of God's hands. In those first couple of weeks after joining the Rock, I was standing out front talking to a woman. She asked what I did, and I said, I'm a writer. Oh, what do you write about, she asked. And I told her about some of my books. And she said, oh, you're a Christian writer. No, I said defiantly. And then, when did that happen? I went to college in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in the late 1970s, and I used to do my drinking at a place called the Avalanche Bar. And every once in a while, I'd talk to guys we called Jesus freaks. And one guy in particular, his name was Barney, and he was kind of short, and he was a little overweight, and he was balding, and in the wintertime, he wore a green and gold wool cap with a pom-pom. One night, Barney was going on about Jesus this and Jesus that, and I just wasn't buying what he was selling. And to tell you the truth, Barney made me kind of mad that night. And I took the Bible from his hands, I ripped out about 30 pages, tossed them in the air, and I stormed out. Well, it's 40 years later, and I like to believe that Barney's gotten the last laugh. And that for the price of a Bible, God got a soul. Now, do I really believe that God talked to me through a copper hand, through some books, and in a bar in Milwaukee? God talked to Moses through a burning bush. So yeah, I believe this is exactly how it happened. And here's the thing. I don't think God has only been tapping me on the shoulder to help me believe, but I think I'm supposed to help other people believe as well. I do not believe my little brother believes in God, believes in Jesus, believes that Jesus is God, that miracles happen, and on and on. And about 2 years ago, before I'd gotten saved, we were talking at his house one night. And out of the blue, he said, why do you believe? When your unbelieving brother asks a question like that, it's best to come up with a good answer. And I told him that of the 12 apostles, 1 committed suicide, 1 died of old age, and 10 were martyred. And those 10 must have seen the risen Christ, because no one will die for a lie. At our homeless ministry one night, one of the homeless men came up to me and said, Cullen, are you a pastor? I said, no. But we sat for about a half an hour in the back here, and we talked, and I hope I eased some of his pain. And after that night, I came to believe, well, yeah, I am a pastor. That it's my duty as a Christian to be a pastor, to be pastoral, and at least try to be an example of that shining city on the hill. Now, I don't want to make myself out to be more than I am. I am severely, severely flawed. I sin, struggle, and often fail. And I sometimes think that I am the most unlikely Christian since St. Paul. And I find it absolutely amazing that I am speaking up here tonight, and I am humbled for the privilege of doing so. Here's the thing. If God can capture me, he can capture anyone. He can capture Sandy Pignon's mother and Maureen Marcotte's son, and even those people sitting in the back of the church. I got saved at age 55. I got baptized at age 56. And I believe you can teach old dogs new tricks. Here's the basic difference as I see it from who I was to who I am today, since I've gone from someone who hoped to someone who believes. And I think it's pretty simple. And I think it's important to understand that for me, it's not a Saul getting knocked off his horse sort of transformation. It's just a guy who finally listened to God and is trying to represent Jesus well. I was walking in downtown Roseville one day, and I tripped. And I bent over, and I pulled this from my blue jeans, a fish hook. And my first thought wasn't, how the heck did that get there? But instead I thought, and I will make you a fisher of men. People ask me all the time, Cullen, how are you doing? And I usually tell them, I'm great. 31 years ago, my mother died after an 8-year battle with breast cancer. 12 years ago, my older brother died, and for 6 months, Terry fought for every single moment. So what do I have to complain about? I'm alive, I'm saved, Jesus loves me, and I'm going to heaven because Jesus promised me that I would. And every day is a great day. Thank you.